They betrayed the trust that the public placed in them, disgraced the badge, and undermined the hard work of good law enforcement officers across this state and across the region.
By law enforcement officers and their accomplices are alleged to have agreed to provide safe passage for illegal narcotics and drug proceeds to the Mississippi Delta region, and ultimately on the last of those runs into Memphis itself.
Welcome to the channel. Before we begin, I need to ask you something serious. Have you ever wondered what's really happening in the warehouses near your home at 3 a.m.? What's being moved through your city while you sleep? What I'm about to show you will change how you see every unmarked truck, every industrial building, every normal business in your neighborhood. Because 3 months ago, federal agents discovered something in Detroit that made veteran investigators physically ill. This isn't just another drug bust story. This is about the night America's invisible war became visible. And trust me, by the end of this video, you'll understand why your FBI field office wants you to know what happened. Hit that subscribe button right now, because what you're about to hear has been kept quiet for a reason. Let's dive in. It begins with a scream in a college dormitory. March 3rd, 2:47 a.m. University of Michigan, Ann Arbor. A resident advisor finds 21-year-old Sarah Chin collapsed in a hallway bathroom. Blue lips. No pulse. Her phone shows a text said 12 minutes earlier. Took half, feeling weird. The pill looked perfect. Pharmaceutical grade. Stamped with the correct markings. Bought from someone she trusted. But toxicology reveals pure fentanyl, wrapped in a counterfeit shell so convincing that even pharmacists couldn't tell the difference without lab testing. Sarah's death is the 7th in 2 weeks. All college students. All different campuses. All the same batch. Here's where it gets terrifying. A forensic chemist named Dr. Marcus Webb notices something nobody else caught. The binding agent in these pills contains a rare compound, a signature, like a criminal leaving fingerprints. He traces it backward through 6 months of overdose reports. The pattern emerges like a map drawn in graves. Every single death connects to deliveries made within 48 hours of each other. Same distribution timing. Same supply chain rhythm. This isn't random street dealing. This is synchronized. And every thread leads to one city, Detroit. Pause. Quick question for you. Have you or someone you know been affected by the fentanyl crisis? Drop a comment below. Your story matters, and this community needs to hear it. The surveillance nobody saw coming. The DEA assembles a task force with a rule that sounds paranoid until you understand why. Zero local involvement. No Detroit PD. No state police. No border patrol. Just federal agents from out of state who don't know the territory and can't be compromised. They call it Operation Silent Strike. For 11 months, they watch. Drones flying patterns that look like air traffic. Undercover agents taking jobs at truck stops. Financial analysts tracking money that moves like water. Flowing through cracks most people don't even know exist. They identify a logistics company called Midwest Freight Solutions. On paper, it's boring. Transport services. Wholesale distribution. Tax returns that look clean. But the math doesn't work. The company moves 400% more cargo than its fleet capacity. Trucks return empty from routes that should be full. And the owner, a man named Vincent Torres, hasn't been seen in public for 3 years. Agents place trackers on 23 vehicles. They monitor 6 warehouses. They intercept encrypted communications using technology one can't describe because it's still classified. And on September 18th, at exactly 3:33 a.m., they see something that makes them move immediately. 0 hour. Detroit's east side. Industrial zone near the river. Temperature, 38 degrees. No moon. The kind of darkness that swallows sound. 12 locations. 17 federal teams. 143 arrest warrants. All executed within a 6-minute window. The primary target is a facility listed as auto parts storage. It's not. The building has reinforced walls, military-grade locks, a ventilation system powerful enough to clear chemical fumes, and security cameras that feed to a server farm 2 states away. The entry team doesn't knock. Shape charges blow. The hinges clean off. Flashbangs create a wall of light and pressure, and agents pour through like a flood, shouting commands that echo off concrete walls designed to muffle screams. Let me ask you something. Do you think your city has locations like this? Places hiding in plain sight? Share your thoughts below. I read every comment. What they found. The first room looks like a pharmacy warehouse. Shelves. Inventory tags. Climate control. Except every single product is counterfeit. Oxycodone, that's fentanyl. Xanax, that's fentanyl. Adderall, that's fentanyl. Even aspirin bottles, filled with pills that could stop your heart in minutes. The quantity? 847 kilograms. That's 1,867 pounds. Enough to produce approximately 9.4 million counterfeit pills. Let me put that in perspective. The lethal dose of fentanyl is 2 milligrams. 2. A single gram contains 500 lethal doses. Do the math, and this one warehouse contained enough poison to kill every person in California, Texas, and Florida combined. But it gets worse. Behind a false wall disguised as a utility closet, they find the manufacturing floor. Industrial pill presses capable of stamping 90,000 tablets per hour. Robotic packaging lines. Quality control stations with microscopes and reference samples. This isn't a drug lab. It's a factory. And on the wall, there's a production board. Dates. Quotas. Performance metrics. September target, 2.1 M units. October goal, 2.6 M units. November projection, 3.2 M units. They were scaling up. The intelligence. Cash. In an office that looks like it belongs to an accountant, agents find a laptop that's still warm. The screen is unlocked, and what they see makes them call Washington immediately. Spreadsheets with routes covering 31 states. Customer databases with thousands of names, addresses, purchase histories. Distribution schedules synchronized with university calendars, music, festivals, even prescription refill patterns stolen from hacked pharmacy systems. But here's what makes federal prosecutors smile, in a way that's almost scary. An entire folder labeled, Protection. Network. Inside are payment records showing wire transfers to 47 individuals. The recipients? 12 law enforcement officers, 8 border agents, 14 county officials, 6 prosecutors, and 7 judges. Not just Detroit, Cleveland, Toledo, Pittsburgh, Buffalo, cities forming a corridor from the border to the heartland. This is the part that should terrify every American. If this makes your blood boil, smash that like button right now. The money room. In a climate-controlled vault built into the foundation, they find something that looks like a scene from a heist movie. Cash. Mountains of it. Stacked on pallets. Vacuum sealed. Organized by denomination. The count takes 4 days. Final total, $67 million. But it's not the cash that matters most. It's what's with the cash. Ledgers. Handwritten records going back 41 months. Every transaction. Every payment. Every bribe. Names, dates, amounts, services rendered. The cartel kept receipts. And beside the ledgers, there's a leather portfolio containing 89 photographs. Some show families leaving schools. Others show people at grocery stores, gas stations, walking dogs. Normal moments. Except these are surveillance photos. Leverage. Insurance. A reminder to everyone on the payroll. We know where you live. The arrests that shook the system. By 6:15 a.m., the arrests start going public. A customs inspector at the Detroit-Windsor border crossing, taken at his desk. A Wayne County deputy sheriff, arrested in front of his squad. A federal prosecutor named Amanda Reeves, handcuffed in her driveway while neighbors watch in horror. Reeves had been leaking grand jury testimony. For $15,000 per case. 13 cases. Informants died because of what she sold. The border agent, Carlos Mendez, had been waiving drug shipments through inspection for 4 years. His signal? Adjusting his hat brim. Just a casual gesture that meant, "This load is clear." Payment, $22,000 per truck. 63 trucks. That's $1.38 million. In exchange for letting poison flow into American communities like water through a broken dam. Real talk. How do you feel about officials who betray their badge? Drop your honest reaction in the comments. I want to know what you think the penalty should be. The network revealed. As interrogations progress, the full scope becomes clear. This isn't one cartel. It's a consortium. Mexican cartels partnering with Chinese chemical suppliers, Russian money launderers, and American logistics experts. The precursor chemicals come from factories in Wuhan and Mumbai, disguised as industrial solvents. They're shipped to labs in Sinaloa and Jalisco, where chemists with PhD-level training synthesize fentanyl that's 97% pure. The finished product moves north through a system they call the Clean Corridor. Corrupted officials create gaps in enforcement at specific times. A trooper who takes a coffee break when a particular truck passes. A weigh station that mysteriously goes offline. A warehouse inspector who logs inspections that never happened. Every vulnerability purchased. Every checkpoint compromised. The money flows back through cryptocurrency exchanges, real estate purchases, and trade-based laundering. Dirty cash buys luxury cars in America. Cars get exported to Mexico. Cars sell for clean pesos. The cycle repeats. Federal analysts estimate this single network generated $23 billion in revenue over 3 years. That's more than some Fortune 500 companies. The human cost. But numbers don't tell the real story. People do. Like James Peterson, a father of 2 from Grand Rapids. Injured his back at work. Couldn't afford his prescription. Bought what he thought were pain pills from a coworker. Found by his daughter, face down in the garage. Or Emma Lawson, high school senior, straight A student. College scholarship waiting. Took half a pill at a party because everyone said it was safe. Died before the ambulance arrived. Or Marcus Green, Iraq War veteran, struggling with PTSD. The VA waitlist was 6 months. Someone sold him Xanax to help him sleep. He never woke up. Every single pill seized in that Detroit warehouse represents someone's child, someone's parent, someone's friend. This isn't statistics. It's industrial-scale murder disguised as commerce. If you've lost someone to this crisis, would you share their name in the comments? Let's honor their memory together. This community sees you. When the dust settles, the totals are staggering. 9,247 pounds of fentanyl seized across 29 cities. 16,800 pounds of methamphetamine. $279 million in cash and assets. 1,847 firearms. 429 arrests directly tied to the network. But here's the number that matters most. In the 3 months following Operation Silent Strike, overdose deaths in the targeted region dropped by 64%. 64%. That's lives. Hundreds of them. People who went home to their families because poison wasn't available on their street corner that day. The warning? Yet federal agents will tell you something uncomfortable. This isn't over. It's not even close. The demand still exists. The profits are still astronomical. And cartels adapt faster than most legitimate businesses. They're already building new routes, recruiting new mules, identifying new officials to corrupt. The warehouse seized in Detroit. It was operational again within 11 days. Different name. Different location, same business model. Because here's the brutal truth, you can arrest 1,000 people, seize $1 billion, and it barely dents the machine. The machine runs on American addiction, American money, and American corruption. What happens next? But something did change that night in Detroit. The myth of invisibility shattered. Cartel operatives who thought they were untouchable learned they could be found. Corrupt officials who believed they were too careful discovered that someone was always watching. And communities that felt abandoned by law enforcement saw the system fight back. That matters. So here's my question for you. What do you think the solution is? More enforcement? Better treatment programs? Harsher penalties? Or something else entirely? Drop your answer below, and let's have a real conversation about this. If this story opened your eyes to what's really happening in America, subscribe to this channel right now. We're building a community that refuses to look away from hard truths. Share this video with someone who needs to see it. Hit that like button if you believe corruption should be met with accountability. And remember, the next warehouse is already operating. The next shipment is already moving. The next official is already being recruited. But now you know. And knowing is where change begins. I'll see you in the next investigation. Stay aware. Stay safe. And never stop asking questions.